So, obviously, throughout all of the years, our definition of a family has definitely changed. From the original, very leave it to beaver definition that was, we have a mom and a dad and three kiddos at home. Mom stays home and tends for the house. Dad is the head of the household. He's the breadwinner. He goes to work while mom takes care of the kids, cleans the home, does laundry, just does the homemaker stuff. Um, but today things are a little bit different. It's a little bit more difficult to create a single all inclusive definition because of the different types of family units that there are. There are the nuclear family that we just talked about. There's foster families and adoptive families. There's your extended family, the single household family, blended families, and et cetera, et cetera. The list goes on. And for me, over the years, I think my definition of a family has also changed because of different choices that my family has made throughout the years. So for me, I think that where my original definition was that nuclear definition, it has now become that a family is biological or has a legal relationship to each other, and to other members of that, of the group unit, as they meet together, and their purpose and their job is to meet the needs amongst different members of the group. So members of that family unit meet together to provide and support for each other. And I think the reason that my definition did change is because I grew up with my mom staying home. My dad worked with my younger sister. And then as we got older, my family, mom went back to work. And now we also adopted from foster care. So we were a foster family at one point. And now I have an adopted brother. And so now I've had to bring that on into my own definition. So, being part of a family, it just means different things to different people. For me, it means that I'm always going to belong somewhere and that I'll always have a place to go to despite where life takes me. For others, like those foster kids that we talked about earlier, it might just mean that a family are the people who, put food in your belly, like in one of the videos, or put a roof over your head. For the widow whose, quote unquote household family might have, went on and passed away, it might mean that there's always support even whenever my support has left. So the family definition will mean something different to everybody. But at the central need of all human life, just based on what Maslow said, is that it's the need to belong and to be loved. And that's what a family means to people, is that family means that I am loved and that I belong and that there are people there that will meet that need. Which again changes the definition altogether, and that's why we have to be so fluid. And even as social workers, we have to be aware of the fluidity and the ever-changing nature of what a family unit is, because we also have to be culturally competent and aware as we work with different groups and different diversities. Being aware that what they think is a family might not be what you think is a family, and being able to be self-aware and evaluate yourself and know your own biases is very important in social work practice, especially for a family social worker who will be working with so many different people. Even, talking about diversity, what if someone thinks that, or what if their family is someone who doesn't even live in the household with them? What if their family is a mentor or a friend or a pastor? Like, there's so many different opportunities for what a family member might be to them. So it has the family definition has definitely changed over time because, as more traditional roles are diminishing, less than 10% of kids are growing up with families where the mom stays home and dad works. The family unit's becoming more diverse because there are more interracial marriages these days, which is a great thing. We're progressing. More multicultural families are now more common. Single parent households are rising as divorce rates increase, along with individuals just choosing to stay unwed. Their same-sex parents are on an all-time high, just because we as a culture are evolving, we're changing. But we also have to be aware that even as these differences arise, different cultures have their own belief systems. In more patriarchal cultures, men are still the household. African American families usually have a higher female head household role, but then they rely more on their extended families for support. Asian Americans usually rely and provide for the benefit of the family unit instead of being very self-seeking and looking for the benefit of the individual. Mexican American families, even whenever they are more nuclear in style, they choose to live closer to extended families. Religious groups often include their church family as their extended family. Cambodian cultures, the husband is the head of the household, but the oldest son often holds a special position and authority in the household as well. And most evangelical Christians do not agree with divorce within their belief system. So all these things are very crucial in, taking in different elements of a family unit. And as social workers, we have to be aware of them all, so that way we know how to be effective in all of our practices with these different families.